Welcome back to Less Cash, More Mash. My name's Tom.
And I'm Mike.
And today we're cracking open a semi-new bottle of Nikka whiskey from the barrel. So this one was a donation to be reviewed by a friend of the channel, Steve. Yes, Steve. Sorry, Jimmy actually had this one. We have not officially done a Japanese whiskey, although there was controversy. Some say in Japanese, some say it's not considered a Japanese whiskey, but we haven't done a Japanese whiskey on the channel yet. So this is a 3-year-old. It's 102.8 proof. MSRP is somewhere, according to the internet, between $70 and $80. I forgot to ask him what he actually got this for, but it doesn't matter because it's not staying here anyways. But so their little press release, there wasn't a whole lot of information that I found on this, but it says this is a blend of multiple types of malt and grain that Nikka reserves, was created to deliver full flavors and richness of whiskey from the barrel that only blenders can sniff and taste. So in theory, they say it is a blend of Japanese whiskey and scotch, which I know Mike is a huge fan of the scotch, so we're going to have to see. We did at Marty's liquor store, we did do a series of Japanese. They had a tasting there at one point in time, and they had a bunch of Japanese whiskeys. But I will say, not a fan of the little nub bottle because that's a hard one to pour with. Not that my pouring skills are very good to begin with, but those whiskeys that we had, though, the Japanese ones, although were very expensive, they did not have the scotch taste at all. They were actually very good. Yeah. They were a little less on the flavor than like the bourbons that we normally drink, but they were definitely up there on like I would say even an elevation between like what the Irish and the Canadian that we've had before. They were good, but they were very expensive because we went in the store to look at. Those were, yeah.
And they can vary anywhere. I mean, I would say probably the cheapest one I've seen is probably like $40.
I can only imagine what the last one the guy pulled out of his secret sack when he gave us that last pour on that one. And I'm sure that was a little one. I'm sure that one was pretty expensive because he kept going up in the years. Yeah. But I will say one of the coolest things I've ever got on any of the smells on one of them was, remember we got coconut. I've never got coconut on. And it was the cheapest one. I'm like, I wouldn't want the 10-year one. The 5-year one was awesome. It had coconut. It tasted like a coconut flavor. It was the coolest thing. So on to this. I'm getting a light smoke smell. It's not anything heavy right off the bat.
I was going to say it's not an ass kicking.
Not huge peat jumping out at you. So
and this one, it has a sweetness and flavor.
All right, let's see.
Not what I was thinking, because I was thinking it was going to be more in a Scotch land. It's got a little tweak.
Oh, it's 100% in Scotch land, but not to the point of the Scotch land. It's definitely bringing your peat smoke flavor.
Yeah, but not overpowering, and there's something else with it that kind of.
It 100% reminds me of this. It's like in that land. It's like when you have like any of the Irish. I didn't know if you could see it because I just said like this. It's behind me. Any of the Irish that has the peated smoke that goes with it. This one, the Toucans one that we had, that Dunville was one. It brings me that where you're getting that peat smoke kind of Scotch flavor, but it's not
the only flavor.
Right, exactly. You're still getting it because there is a sweetness to this.
That's what I said.
I'm sorry. I was probably babbling about something very insignificant. Let me see.
You do have the peat, but that's not the only nose that's in it.
No, and again, we're going to have to venture into.
We're going to have to get one of those circles one day and just actually see what are all the little notes.
I don't want to know. You can.
No, just what's in this. Just what is the variety pack of the 20 different, or whatever there is, 30 different notes that you could get. You know, they must have a little pie sheet or something.
There was definitely a sweetness in that, though.
There is. But I can't figure out the nose. That's what
second sip, though, the smoke hit me harder on the second sip. First sip, I kind of was getting through it all. Second sip, it kind of second sip, it definitely is. It's bringing the smoke now.
And for 102, it's an easy trigger, but maybe that's the sweetness that holds that or hides it. You do get that. It's that lingering flavor, though.
It is. Oh yeah. No. I mean,
peaty flavor.
I was going to say the opposite of you, where I can tell it's 102 proof. It's not drinking like the traditional 80 proof scotches or thing, you know, like the Irish you definitely notice something more going on behind it.
I can go with that, but it's not.
It's not harsh.
Right,
No, right.
right.
It's not a tough 100 proof, but you definitely know you're not drinking the regular 80 proofer. This goes back to like once I know, because it was one of the days, like, I try to steer off some, even though someone thinks I just over here hammering stuff. So one of the days I said, you know what, it's going to be a Scotch day. So I started with like the Bushka or one of the Irishes, and then I worked my way through the Scotches and do it. And when you know that that's what you're drinking, and you stay with that parameter, you're okay with it. But I will tell you, when I got up, I forgot what I kind of dwindled on, but when I hit that 18 year, that bursts with the smoke. You're like, whoa, because I thought the 9 was the 9, but that 18 really smacks you.
You can get the tingle of the 102.
Yeah, to me,
keep drinking it.
Yep.
You still have that after flavor, but I'm not saying I don't dislike it.
No,
I guess the disliking part, since I'm not a huge fan, is $80 for that. It would not be.
Oh, no.
It would not be my first pick.
I 100% agree.
Try it.
Yes,
but for my own personal happiness, this is not the flavor I'm going to spend $80 on. We will be on a channel for your entertainment.
No, right. I'm not 100% sure what he paid for that, and they estimated like between $70 and $80. I 100% agree.
Even with that,
would you buy this or would you buy a Booker's? Yeah, 100% be getting a Booker's over one of these. You know what I mean? I agree with you. Well, that's just it. Or in that realm, because you're in that range. Right. You're in that price range.
Grab another barrel proof Elijah or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. Even the E.H. Taylor we got was, I think I paid, you know what I mean, way less than that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, would I go that route? Yes, but I don't hate it though. There is definitely a sweetness. I'm trying to figure out what that aftertaste that you said. There is something else.
And there's a nose that's different too. That you get you get flutter it and you get the peat, but then you get something in the background.
And the funny thing is I forget his name. I'm so bad with names. I apologize. But when Jimmy came last time, he brought his friend, and his friend, I'm like, all right, Smarty, you give me a smell other than medicinal Band-Aid, and he's like, leather. And then when you really, and that's all I can, when I hit it now, you get like what, you can't eat leather, like I said, but like what you smell, like when you walk into a leather, you know what I mean? Like a leather shop and stuff, you get that leather smell, and you really do, it's in there. It's with the medicinal, but you can get that leather cowboy boot smell going on in there. But overall, there's definitely, it's not just straight smoke though. I do like the sweetness in the background of it, whatever is in there. It's got a good
flavor.
Yeah.
For what it is, I don't mind it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Just, that was my comment. Wouldn't be our first pick. Definitely not mine. But
no, and surprising to me too is because a lot of times when you get up in the prices, you're usually up in the years. I mean, this is a 3-year whiskey. You know what I'm saying?
The Japanese go with it? Do they go in a year?
I'm kind of speaking out of school, but what I've seen on other channels that have been talking about it, the Japanese are getting like re-regulated because it was the Wild Wild West out there, and they could pretty much say anything's Japanese before. And there's a controversy on whether this is actually considered Japanese or not, because I think it's because it's blended with Scotch, and you know what I mean with it. So, but I think that they describe them like the Wild Wild West. They can pretty much say anything's Japanese whiskey, even if it doesn't come from Japan. Just as long like it can be anything. So
it's whiskey.
I'm kind of speaking out of school on that, but the way one of the channels described it, it was like they're trying to regulate it more because people are venturing into that realm, and now they're drinking stuff that isn't even Japanese. It just has a Japanese whiskey sticker on it, type of a deal. So it's kind of like Scotch can only come from Scotland.
Right.
You know what I mean? And bourbon can only come from the United States, type of a deal where they're trying to like, all right, Japanese whiskey should be Japanese whiskey. You know what I mean? Or, same thing. Like you don't usually get Irish whiskey from, Tennessee. It's at least made there. Well, no, there's bottled out of there that they allow it to do. It can be bottled out of Ireland.
What I'm thinking is a collaboration.
Right. It can be bottled out of Ireland, but I think it has to actually be produced in Ireland, and then, you know what I mean? Like manufactured to be called Irish. So I know Scotland can't be Scotch because it's out here. It's single malt, or American malts. They, it tastes like Scotch, looks like Scotch, just not Scotch. It's just. But again, this kind of reminds me of that Swift that we have over there, because the Swift had that sweetness. It really did.
Yeah, but it still had more of a twang, I think, on the peat side.
I think it was a heavier smoke. Yeah. Correct. But so overall, there you go. Once again, thank you very much, Jimmy, for letting us borrow this. I would drink this though. When I'm in that Scotch mode.
The flavor. I don't mind it. It's not overpowering. It's just it wouldn't be my first pick.
It kind of reminds me too of like the Teeling, where it's like a second. The Teeling with the you know what I mean, where it's not as heavy.
That might have been even a little stronger.
I think it's a lot stronger smoke, but I think it brings me in that realm where it's a little bit less than when you just go straight with the.
Is really starting to pack in that scent now.
This really does. If I had to steer Jimmy into it really reminds me of this Busker. So if he likes this one, because this was the same thing. It was a lot of flavor with a hint of the smoke.
That's more of a hint.
You called it a Scotch when we did it blind, though. So I think it puts us in the same realm. With what I remember, it puts me in this mode. So if I'm
going to spend 70 or 20,
well, this is 20. Yeah, you got this for $20. So Jimmy, if you are, and I know you will be watching this, if you have not tried that, if you like that one, when you come over, you can try this one anyways. But I think this would be a cheaper alternative.
And really, when I do see that out now, it's like 30.
Right, you got this for a steal because I think you paid. Yeah, you paid $19.99. So everyone else is like, "Where'd you get that?" Type of a deal.
And I went back to the same store like 3 times, and they're like, "Why is this guy buying?"
He comes back and buying a bunch of them. Right?
I walk out with 3 of them, right? Because they only had like one of, I think, the purple left, and then the blue and the green. And I do know where the gray one is, so it's available. So we'll be trying them.
Yep. So there you go. There is the Nikka whiskey from the barrel. Weird name, but I do like it. It's all Japanese writing.
It is. It's like the proof
in it. Yeah, right.
Japanese too, but so those letters are, numbers are.
Right. Yeah, I know. That always kills me when you see.
It's time to fly. It's not us.
So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I have a story on that after we shut this off. So, spend less, drink more. Cheers.
Subscribe. And thanks to all the subscribers.